Hello, it's Naas again, and welcome back. After a little bit of a long break, we're back, and I've got a new guest in, not in town. I'm new in town, but he's been here 28 years already in Kansas City, Missouri. Ryan Grobler.
Us, how are you?
Good, Ryan. Just give us a little bit of background on yourself, and 28 years in Kansas City. It's a long time.
I've been a long time in the US, yes. Grew up in South Africa. Played a lot of rugby over in South Africa. Went to a high school called Maritzburg College. Represented Natal at the school level and Eastern Province at school level at Craven Week, and then went to Rhodes University, played in their team for several years, and played in the under-19 divisions in the Eastern Province for the state, and then decided to travel around the world a little bit. Went to Australia for a year and played in the Brisbane area with the Western Bulldogs, and then came over to the US in 1998 when they started the Super League over here. And with that, I played rugby, and then I stopped playing rugby. I started coaching, and then I've been involved in all the different facets of rugby across the board. So I have a good knowledge of the game and love the game. I grew up with it, so I'm happy to be here with you.
Good. Okay, you've all seen us on Naas and on the other hand, Dion. But we had to change the name because Dion is not here. So now it is Drop In with Naas and Ryan. So Ryan, welcome to the first program of Drop In.
Thank you, Naas. Yeah.
We won't go too much into the name because otherwise people might think I'm biased, but I'm not going to.
We used to have a pretty good drop kick, didn't you? So.
Yeah, used to. Okay. We're going to do Leinster against the Bulls, URC final. That's why we're actually restarting. We thought that's the nice first game to really look at. And then, of course, we were very fortunate to watch the Springboks playing the Barbarians this morning. And then I've also got the scores of the New Zealand final and also the Gallagher Premiership in England. I really thought, before we get into the game, I really thought that if there is an opportunity for the Bulls to turn the tables this time, it's now. Even if it was in Ireland, we all know that.
I agree.
But I thought Leinster might be a little bit in a change over period. But we both watched the games and not really that great night for the Bulls.
No, going into the game, obviously the weather, I thought played into the Bulls' hands. They've got a great forward pack. It was a rainy day, and I thought they really had a good chance at getting it at Leinster in the game, and that just didn't work out that way. So we watched the game, and we can certainly talk about a lot of the points in the game and how that kind of played back into Leinster's hands.
Yeah, I've got a couple of things. And we spoke about it. Leinster beating the Bulls quite easily on the outside. The most important thing is, what do? You're trying to create space on the outside.
Correct.
That's what Leinster did with the loop around. And I was a little bit surprised because I thought that the Bulls might sort out the defence, but even in the second half, Leinster still got around on the outside.
Yeah, correct. They just didn't adjust to the game. I think I thought about it after the game. Maybe they were running a defense pattern that pulled them in close to the rucks, the mauls, the scrums, in the set pieces because of the weather, and they thought maybe they'd be running some of the big forwards close in. But they certainly were exposed out wide. Every time the ball went wide, they seemed to expose the wingers, create space and overlaps. And it was a tough day out on the outside for the Blue Bulls for sure.
Okay, then the other one that I would like to also mention, because that was a little bit of a surprise, is the Bulls lost too many lineouts.
They did. They lost lineouts in critical situations. They were just not getting the ball back in the lineout. I remember in the first several minutes of the game, there was a penalty kick. We kicked it into the corner. The Bulls did. They had a nice position to create a maul and drive in for a try. They lost the ball. So a lot of set pieces like lineouts here that they did not do well in, and it really cost them.
Okay, now a surprise, because I thought that Australia always gave me the impression that don't kick on them because you hardly beat them in the air.
Right.
Okay. Yesterday, Papier did quite a number of up and unders.
He did.
Firstly, I thought it was too short to
Yeah.
really put pressure on Leinster, but the Bulls lost the kicking game yesterday.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Not only were the kicks short, but competing for the ball up in the air, they turned it over a number of times. I think there's one situation that we saw where there was an up and under kicked by I think it was the Leinster team, and our team just stood and watched. I think
Yeah, the fullback actually won the ball back.
Correct, and they kind of just watched him catch the ball. And there was just not the right level of competition or competing for the ball in the air, and the kicks were too shallow. They need to go deeper, and they need to have more hang time up there to get after them.
While you're talking about, okay, we both agree the ball didn't go far enough. Okay, but what happened to the law of the 10-meter radius? If you kick a ball up in the air and your players are in that radius of 10 meters, it's actually a penalty against
Correct.
you. But I thought there's a couple of times that the ball didn't really travel like 10 meters.
I agree. Yeah, it didn't travel 10 meters, so I mean it was open play. They should have stepped up and gone for it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the other thing, or the last point I want to actually raise on the Leinster side, before we get to the Bulls, is the thing that I've picked up yesterday. When you give them half an opportunity to score, they do.
Absolutely.
Where the Bulls had a couple of opportunities, but they just never actually put that nail in the coffin. But
100%.
we'll get to this a little bit later, because the TMO, I thought, had a shocker of a game
Agreed.
yesterday, but
100%.
we'll get to that later. But do you agree with
I do.
that
Every time the Bulls seem to gain momentum and get forward movement, they turn the ball over.
Yeah.
Whereas Leinster just seemed to be at a different cadence yesterday. They were taking the game to the Bulls. The Bulls seemed to be on their back foot, both on defense and when they were running at the advantage line and they got some momentum, they either dropped the ball, dropped a pass, knocked it on, and killed the momentum of the plays. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, then a thing that we see week in and week out, and then you would think that players will learn, is when there's a pass by the opposition, the hand going out, trying to intercept, but you can see
Absolutely.
it's a try, it's not really going to intercept, and then it ended up in a yellow card. And the Bulls had 2 yesterday. Yes, I know Leinster also had 1, but I think it was more costly for the Bulls yesterday.
Very costly for the Bulls. I had a couple of yellow cards on that particular point. But you're absolutely right. Discipline is key, right? If you're the last line of defense and there's an overlap, if you can see that you may get an interception, if the chances are really high, go for it. But I mean, losing a player for trying that at that moment is just so costly, especially because they were being exposed out wide, and now you lose a player and you lose another player, you've got a tremendous overlap on the outside. But very, very costly yesterday for yellow cards with the Bulls trying to reach in and grab the ball and knocking the ball down.
Okay, seeing that we're in America,
Yep.
I'm going to throw you a curveball then.
Okay.
Because baseball is a big thing, and I've been to a couple of baseball games.
Uh-huh.
Do you really think that hand between the two players, yes, sometimes we can actually go to say it could be a penalty try. Is the law fair enough to actually send a player off within 10 minutes?
I mean, I think it is personally,
Okay.
because the player is intentionally reaching and he is prohibiting the ball from going to the last player. There's no defence coming across for that, and there would have been a try essentially,
Okay.
unless he dropped the ball. The players just got to be a little more disciplined in keeping their hand out of that, and you're not getting sent off the field. Done away with the penalty try. I mean, they get a penalty and they get the other penalties. Obviously, the player goes off the field at that point, and that's a costly thing.
Yeah, it's a double penalty. Okay. Then the first try was actually a little bit of against the run of play. Pollard
Yep.
missing
Yep.
the pass from the scrum off,
Mhm.
and kicked through, and then they scored. And I always think that what if, but we know there is no what if in sport. Because
Right.
what if that didn't happen?
Yeah.
Would it have been a different game for the Bulls? Yes, it did actually turn the game immediately
Mhm.
into, instead of thinking attacking rugby,
Yep.
suddenly you're thinking, oh, okay, here we're chasing again.
Yep.
We're in Ireland, we're playing Leinster, not a bad side.
Mhm.
That was actually a very
was.
easy 7 points, wasn't it?
It was a bad mistake, dropping the ball and just picked up by the Leinster wing and ran it straight in for a try. And it is a hard shot when people do that and just removes the momentum from you. You're on the attack, you're going wide, you're trying to get over the advantage line, and that happens, and they score an easy try and put you on the back foot immediately, where you've got to go back and try and get back into the game. And at that point, Leinster was really playing on their front foot. And the Bulls were on their back foot. They needed to get something going at that point, and that was just a really hard pill to swallow for them, dropping the ball and having them run through and score. But a bad mistake here by Pollard on that one.
Okay, and seeing that, we're talking a little bit more about the Bulls because, I played for them for 17 years, so I think it's just fair that we talk about them. But 3 players, I want to say, didn't really play that well.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make one bad game or a mediocre game doesn't make you a bad player.
Correct.
But it looked like Moody was injured because I hardly saw him yesterday running at full speed. Okay, that's one.
Yep.
Pollard we all had handling errors
Mm-hmm.
while we played. So, but it was a costly one.
Yes.
Okay, and then also Willie Leroux, and you mentioned it earlier. Too many handling errors,
Yes.
too many mistakes. While if you just protect the ball, if I can put it that way, it might have worked out differently for the Bulls.
Absolutely, getting momentum going. When you're moving the ball forward, attacking the line, and you're losing the ball, or you're dropping the ball, or you're making these mistakes. I agree. Moody was off yesterday. He's a great player, but
He's absolutely fantastic.
he in the first half I was watching and I was questioning his play. I was wondering the same thing. Is he injured? Is he not at full pace? Is he just having that moment? But he made 2 pretty interesting mistakes pretty quickly. Second half I thought he played okay. He had a couple of runs. So then when I saw him at full pace going around and scoring, maybe I saw maybe he just made a couple of mistakes. But yes, Pollard also had a pretty tough game yesterday. Also another great player, but making mistakes. And Willie Leroux he's again one of the best at fullback to play the game. But in time with his timing and just the little mistakes he made, when he took the ball over the try line, etc. It just puts you on the back foot again, especially when you're trying to get momentum going into these games. It's so difficult to get that momentum. Your forwards are working hard and you're getting it out of the backs, and then you're having these mistakes, these costly mistakes, which just pulls you back on the back foot again.
Interesting you just mentioned the forwards played well.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the forwards actually played extremely well.
Yep.
I thought they scrummed well. We'll talk about some general points just after this, but when you play away and you play a final and you play a team like Leinster, or if somebody might have played the Stormers at home or the Bulls, you expect the visiting team to be, or to understand, 100% for 80 minutes by all the players, then you give yourself a chance to win the game. You agree?
Yes, I agree. 100%. All the players need to be, fully engaged, fully moving, and if you're not working as a unit, then it's not going to work. But again, I thought the forwards played really well, carrying the ball onto the advantage line. They just defended well on the try line a few times.
Yeah.
They made a good stand there on the defense. But they were also, we talk about rucks, committing too many people, not having enough players out on the outskirts, pushing that defense wider to stop that overlap and stop the narrow defense on the Bull side. I think we saw some of that too from the forwards. So overall, I thought the forwards played well, but there were some certain things they did during the game I thought they could have done a little better too.
Yeah, especially hanging on to the ball. Okay, then the thing that worried me a little bit. Now let's get to the general. Okay, the Bulls did score 2 tries.
Yes.
Was cancelled by the TMO.
Yes.
Okay, the one you could clearly see it was on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we've seen this morning the Boks scoring the ball on the line.
Yes.
Okay, why he didn't give that try, I was a little bit amazed.
Mm-hmm.
The other one I didn't appreciate because they said the camera angle shows the ball is actually going forward.
Mm-hmm.
anybody could see that wasn't really going forward.
Absolutely.
You know, so the 2 tries I thought actually cost the Bulls dearly yesterday.
It did, absolutely, and it's just I'm the same. I cannot understand with the technology you have today and the slow motion you have that you can not award a try for that first one, that winner. I could clearly see it cross the line and was on the ground. It was, in my mind, 100% a try. The forward pass, obviously the camera angle was interesting. I would have said it went backwards. I didn't think it was a good call either. So, yes, 2 calls go against you like that. That's 2 tries. That could turn the momentum of the game, right? I mean, we've seen games turn when you start gathering points and start, just taking down the differential between what the other team has and you have. And those 2 tries, in my opinion, should have been awarded and could have made some difference in the game, for sure. So.
See, the thing is, if you score at certain times during the game, it changed the game. We all know that.
100%.
But I think that first cancelled try, I could see the body language of the team was,
just took the window.
Here we go again, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and again, I just, with all the technology we have today, I still shake my head sometimes at some of the decisions that are made, and unfortunately, you got to go with the decision. But yeah, it was costly for the Bulls for sure.
Okay, then 2 things that really stood out yesterday. We still see too many penalties in a tackle situation where either the player is not placing the ball or the ref calls it holding on to the ball. But, if you take a tackle, okay, I'm going to use this now as a simple example. You tackle me and I can place the ball there, then we can play. But if the ball is here and you put your hands on the ball as a non-tackler, okay, but from the opposition, I never had an opportunity to place the ball. Do you really think the law is actually making sense?
No, I don't a lot of the time. But I mean, some of the penalties and turnovers, you have to question them. But you obviously can't hold on to the ball and protect the ball fully when you're
okay. Hang on there. Absolutely correct. But shouldn't the tackled player get a opportunity to at least place the ball first?
100%. They should get an opportunity to place the ball first, and so you can drive over and get the ball back. 100%. They're not giving them that opportunity. So lots of turnovers on penalties for the Bulls in that situation in the tackle for sure.
Okay, and then the last thing, we're still wasting too much time on the scrum situation.
Yes, agreed. Yeah, just too much time. Put the ball in, get the ball out, get it going. Set the platform for they got such a good scrum. Get the ball in, let them drive. Set the platform for the backs to run onto the ball.
Okay, but how are we going to fix this? Because we keep talking on it. I've been for how long with Supersport, and we kept talking about it. Speed up play. Now
you have to speed up play.
We know in COVID, the guys made the call outside the line out. Then they moved into, and then you just do the line out. They're still doing it today.
Yeah.
It's still wasting time, isn't it?
It is absolutely wasting time. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be fixed at some point. I mean, one thing I love about rugby is that it flows. It runs, right? You watch all these American sports and they start, and rugby is just a continuous flow. And these certain set phases that are just taking too long. I agree. There should be something put in place and to change it, and then also the players need to speed up the play going into those.
Okay, let's get to the Boks. The Boks actually played this morning, 80-31 against the Barbarians. I thought a fantastic warm-up game for the Boks.
Absolutely, yeah. I thought it was a fantastic game too. Obviously a Barbarian game. Almost not quite. You don't quite feel the intensity of but the Boks with a lot of young players coming in, a lot of new players coming in. I thought they did very well. They stuck to their core, and they ran up a big score. It was nice to see the Barbarians running the ball too and scoring some beautiful tries. Really great rugby to watch overall. So.
And quite a nice crowd in Coberga.
There was a nice crowd. Yeah, we were actually I was commenting on that this morning. I thought there was a very nice crowd there, and the cameraman did a good job panning across and showing a lot of the supporters, and it was fun to see them. I mean, everybody loves watching Barbarian rugby. I mean, it's always fun to watch, and I thought the Boks played well.
Yeah, they stuck to at least their, let's say, game plan, if we can call it that way, because to score 80 points in 80 minutes, you can easily lose it. We've seen it in the past, where you're going to win, you're going to get a big score, and then you you lose it a little bit. They didn't lose it this morning.
No, they didn't. They just kept going, and quite honestly, I mean, I think at one point the Barbarians scored 2 tries in about 3 minutes, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, the Boks stuck to the fundamentals of what they're good at, and just opened up space and created space, and they're just so good at hitting that advantage line at pace and running the angles and just creating space for the backs to run. Laying the foundation up front is critical with them, and it just creates space out wide. And we also saw I saw a lot of the forwards in the back line today. Now, being a backline player myself, we used to scream at the forwards, get out the back line. But I thought the forwards that were in the back line today, they really played well, and their handling was great. They've made some fantastic passes, opening up opportunities, and I just think they played well overall.
Okay, before we get to some individuals, you've made a point now, and I think that's important to notice. Backs don't mind forwards in the back line as long as they hang on to the ball first, catch the ball, and give a proper pass. Then they can hang around the backs.
Absolutely.
But when they don't do that, don't hang around the backs.
I know, having played, I mean, we used to have a great time with that. And as long as they adding value in the back line, I think it's great. But, often, as you know, when you used to play, you used to be running onto the ball, and suddenly a forward would step in front of you and try and grab the ball, and it would be a bit of a mess. But I thought they played really well. Their handling skills and the offload is fantastic. The quick passing, opening up the wide gaps, and just running. The forwards just running onto the ball at pace there was fantastic too. So.
Okay, we know Barbarians only got together last weekend or by Monday. Okay, so we know, we sort of do understand their scrum wasn't going to be that great, but I thought the Boks scrummed well this morning.
They always scrum well, but they scrummed really well. I thought I made notes as they were scrumming. I mean, they really do lock in well. They push as a unit. They're a big, strong unit, and they set that platform for the backs to run off or the eighth man to play. But all about foundation, laying the foundation on the set play, setting it up nicely for your backs to run on, or running on with the short runners.
Okay, some individuals I thought really made a mark. I'm going to give you a couple of names, and I thought Sia played well. Yep. Jasper Wiese played well. Peter Steff. So the 3 loose forwards worked nicely this morning. Norton, the young lock, I thought he actually did very well. And then Estraisen in the back, I thought he was absolutely outstanding this morning. But are we going to find a better man of the match performance like Cheslin Colby?
I don't think so. I mean, Cheslin Colby is just such a special player in all facets of the game, and to see him step up today and take the kicks. The first time he stepped up and converted the first try, and he stepped up again in the corner and did the same thing over and over again. And his ability to just create space, run onto the ball, his tackling, he's a full-rounded player, and I thought he had a fantastic game today too, in all aspects of the game. He's quick, he's fast, he runs on, he kicks, does it all. What a great game for him. Yeah.
But I must say, I think Edward van der Merwe on the other side actually complimented Cheslin, because they both really played well on the outside.
Agreed. And just the sheer pace is unmatchable on the outside. I mean, the one try that was scored down the try line, I mean, it was a sprint, but I mean, the Barbarian backline is, a lot of the players are not slow. I mean, the pace that they run at, and just able to take off down the sideline and score in the corners, or stand out wide, get the wide pass out, and just the ability to get in over the try line is just, it's unbelievable.
See, I always look at it and I say, when you can see a player's got speed, is when he runs down the line, and the cover players are coming from the side. Yep. Normally it's the shorter route, and if two guys chase each other like that, then it's like a 100-meter sprint. But if they come from the side and he outsprinted everyone, then I think you can see his space. Huh?
He's got some serious pace. You're exactly right. I mean, if you outrun the cover defense and the back line, it's not a forward trying to cover defense, it's a back line. He's got some serious pace. Okay.
Then we also have the scores. I watched a little bit Northampton against Exeter. Exeter actually, I thought, might sneak it at the end, but then Northampton scored 26-17, so Northampton champions of the Gallagher Premier Division in England. It's quite an achievement, because it's not an easy league.
No, it's not, and it is a good achievement for them for sure. I didn't actually watch the games, but the scores, that is a great achievement for them in that league, and congrats to them for sure.
Okay, but then I think I'm a little bit surprised with the score. Because I thought the Crusaders might play a little bit of a part in New Zealand's final this year. That never happened. The Hurricanes beating the Chiefs 60 to 5.
Yeah, I'm going to have to watch that game because that score is just that doesn't really add up for me. But it must have been a hell of a game, and one team must have stepped up and the other team must not have. But 60 to 5 is a thrashing, and you don't generally see that in those games.
Okay, then I need to take you back a little bit and say, because a lot of people would actually asking questions, what is Naas doing in Kansas City? So firstly, I'm with the Kansas City Blues Rugby Club.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations with that.
Thank you. Director of rugby there. Then people say, yeah, but okay, what does that mean? And I mentioned to you, what was amazing when I played here for Dallas Harlequins in 1983.
Mm-hmm.
We went and played in a park.
That's right.
Not on rugby stadiums,
No.
in a park.
Yes.
When I went to the Blues under 18 first training, where do you think I went?
I'm going to take a flying guess and say a park.
Absolutely, a park. So,
Yeah.
I was wondering what happened, what changed since 83 to 2026? Nothing.
Not a hell of a lot. Yeah. No, we still play in parks. I still remember the first day I played in the US. It was in Denver, the Denver Barbarians, and we walked onto into the park, and we actually had to put the rugby posts up before the game as the home team. So it was pretty interesting.
Okay, now I'm going to take you back.
Okay.
Many, many years ago. Okay, we played an international
Mm-hmm.
in 1981 on our way to New Zealand.
Okay.
And we also played, not then on a park, I think more on a farm, okay, where the reserves had to put up the goalpost.
Yeah.
So you're not the first one
Okay.
that experiencing
I'm glad.
somebody is putting up the
I
goalpost.
thought I might be. Yeah, it's interesting. And you actually have to get the people out of the park to play the game, paint the lines. Yeah, it's interesting.
So maybe next time when they have a varsity cup in South Africa, just tell the students don't take down the goalposts.
Exactly. Yeah.
You just leave them there because it takes some effort to put them up.
It does take a lot of effort to get them up. Yeah.
But I must say, I've been to the under 18 national championship.
Yep.
I thought that was absolutely brilliant. Nice little venue,
Mm-hmm.
4 fantastic rugby fields. Not in the park. Okay, very nice. But I did watch the University College final.
Yep.
Between Berkeley, Cal, I think they call
Berkeley,
them,
yep.
against Navy, and I was a little bit disappointed with the crowd. I think I might have got maybe about 2,000 people,
Yep.
and I thought, then rather have it at a venue, and that's what I want to talk to you about. And that's only the beginning of my experience, is that have it at a venue where you're going to get a crowd,
100%.
as to go and have it at a venue,
Yep.
and you don't get the crowd, because we need to market the game, isn't it?
Absolutely, it's marketing the game. It's pushing out explaining the game to people. Americans love sport. We know that. America has tremendous athletes. We know that. If you can get a foundation laid for the younger players to learn the sport of rugby and push them through into that, you'll get crowds all day long. They really like contact sports, and rugby is a very big contact sport. So there's no reason why this country should not accept rugby as a sport. A lot of people watch rugby in the US. They watch sevens, it's Olympic sport, but getting them into the traditional 15-a-side rugby, there's a good shot at that. Once you, exactly what you're saying, establish that foundation, get a place where people can come, learn the game, watch the game, etc. It's a good experience. It's a fun, a fun experience for the family to go to, and it's a great sport to watch.
I must say 2 things. Then I think we're done for the first program. Is get the younger players to love the game, but not only boys, girls also, because
Absolutely.
the women game is really growing
It
at
is.
a fast pace. We saw the last World Cup,
Yes.
unbelievable crowds at the Women's World Cup. But the World Cup will be in America in 5 years' time. Yes, we're going to get into it as we go along, whatever. They need to get through the group stages.
They do. Yeah, and they do. And I mean, America needs to be ready for the World Cup rugby. But yes, they need to get through the group stages. I mean, there's a lot of development in the next 5 years that needs to happen. You know, players have got to get with the program. USA's always, the Eagles have always had a fairly decent team, but they're up and down. You know,
Yeah,
they compete with teams like Canada. But you know, you talk about women's rugby in this country. It's a big thing. There's a lot of followers in that. So you know, that's a great angle to go after and introduce rugby to America too is through the women and the guys, of course. But yeah, lots to build towards for the World Cup. But yeah, again, just, you know, in my opinion, laying the foundation at a young age for these kids, having played here. You get a lot of college kids coming down from university that don't make the NFL. They want to suddenly play a different sport. They hear about rugby. You've got these big linebackers coming in. You've got these guys, these incredible athletes coming in. But they don't know the fundamentals of rugby, the basics. You learn that at a younger age. You know, I think Kansas City Blues have done an okay job with their junior program, introducing the sport to a lot of younger kids. And as we did growing up, we lived with a rugby ball.
Yeah.
You learn the real basic stuff, you know, when you're young, and it just becomes, you know, muscle memory at that point. And that's where it falls off in America. When these guys step into rugby that have played football and it's a whole nother game.
Okay, last question.
Yeah.
Okay, you've got South Africa. You're looking at stadiums, Ellis Park, Loftus, new stadium in Cape Town, absolute fantastic. Okay, Durban. Then you look at New Zealand. They've got Eden Park, Wellington, Duncan, I think they call it.
Yep.
Okay, you've got Twickenham in England, Murrayfield in Scotland.
Kind of. Yep.
Now, if you look at America. Where is their Twickenham? Where is their Murrayfield? I know it's a big country.
Look, currently, they don't have that, and you know, America is such a big country. But I think, you know, that needs to be established. But you know, somewhere, I mean, the center of the country would be fantastic for everybody to get to. Kansas City would be a good location, or you know, going to be on the East Coast, we have a bigger population potentially, but. They don't have that. I mean, they use, you know, for the World Cup, they're probably going to use some of the big football stadiums. But it needs to be established. It needs to be built. You're absolutely right. It needs to have, you know, USA Rugby needs to have a home where people talk about, if you play in the US, this is where you play.
Okay, now that was Ryan and myself on the first drop-in. So if you want to join, you can drop in and I can drop you out. Okay, just the way you want it. But absolutely fantastic to be back. Ryan, thank you for
Naas.
sharing all your thoughts, and we'll see you in the international window starts on the 4th of July. We'll find something to talk about next week. So we'll see you on a weekly basis.
Thank you.